Welcome to Twin Takeaways. I'm Akira.
And I'm Aurora.
Thanks for joining us today. Today's going to be our first full spooky episode that are now going to be every Wednesday is going to be spooky. All the Sundays are going to just be Reddit drama. And today for my spooky stories, I got a little bit from Glitch in the Matrix, which is going to be a fun one. I got a Let's Not Meet, which is going to be real spooky and creepy and gross. And then I also have a good paranormal one for you to wrap it up. What do you want for us today, Aurora?
I got a couple paranormal, and I got one really creepy lady that we do not want to meet.
All right, I like it. Let's get into it.
All right, so my first one is from Real Horror Stories. It's posted by Hunt Different 320. Panama horror story? I need an explanation. Every year, my family goes on a big vacation. There's about 20 of us, so it's always chaotic but fun. This story happened a couple of years ago when we went to Panama and stayed at a big resort. I don't want to mention any specific hotel names, just in case. I was around 17 at the time. I shared a room with my cousin Harry, my cousin Sarah, and my sister Rish. The layout of the room was kind of weird. There was one main front door that was the entrance that led into a small hallway, and from there, two separate doors to two rooms that faced each other. This is a very important feature of this story. Me, Harry, Sarah, and Rish were in the room on the left, and my aunt was on the room on the right. The first day was totally normal. We were unpacking, getting ready, taking pictures, doing our makeup, all that. The only annoying thing was that our room door kept locking us out and our key cards weren't working properly. But that's not unusual for hotels. We came back from a long dinner with the family around 11 p.m. The energy was still high. We were laying on our beds, chatting, scrolling through our phones, laughing about random stuff. We kept our main hallway door open with a door stopper so other cousins could pop in and out. It just made everything feel more alive. Then my aunt came over to say goodnight and casually mentioned that her room had this weird smell, like musty and old, almost like something had been sitting there for years. We laughed it off and went back to what we were just doing as she headed off to bed. That's when the knocking started. It was light at first, just a couple of taps on our door. We paused. Sarah was like, "Did someone knock?" But when we opened the door, no one was there. We figured it was one of our cousins playing around or just random noise. Whatever. But then it happened again and again. Each time it was louder and more aggressive. Sarah got so fed up she literally stood right next to the door, ready to yank it open and catch whoever was doing it. And then the second the next knock hit, she threw it open. No one was there. And like it wasn't just there, was no one there. The hallway felt dead, like the kind of silence that makes your ears ring. We were all just standing there. Okay, what the hell? We shut the main hall door this time, locking it. Something just felt off. A few minutes later, my aunt came knocking for real this time. She looked annoyed. She asked us why we kept knocking on her door. We explained that we weren't, and we thought some kids were messing with us. She gave us a weird look, kind of uneasy, and went back to her room. But then the knocking continued. How? The front door was closed now. Who would even be able to knock? We all sat there for a good 5 minutes staring at the door in fear. How is this even possible? Then suddenly, my aunt came pounding on our door, completely hysterical, crying, begging us to let her in. We rushed to open it, and she was shaking, tears running down her face. She said her curtains suddenly swung open, like something had thrown it. We all looked at each other in fear, not knowing what to do. She begged us to switch rooms. We were all standing around the door, comforting her the best we could, as she was trembling with fear. Then 3 loud bangs echoed through the room, and the door handle just started rattling like someone was on the other side shaking. It was crazy trying to get in. The room door slammed open so hard it hit the wall behind it. This door could not open without a key card. We knew this 100% from all the times our key cards were not working. We all just stood there, dead silent, our hearts pounding in our chest. My aunt was sobbing. We could all feel something was wrong, like the air got heavier, thicker. I'm surprised none of us screamed, but all of us just stood there in shock, almost like we were too scared to move or say anything. We all snapped out of it within a minute or two and booked it down to the reception in our pajamas. Some of us barefoot, all of us crying and shaking. The staff looked kind of shocked. And when we told them what happened, they immediately didn't even question it. They just nodded and immediately moved us to a different room. And here's the creepiest part. The maid helped us move all of our stuff into a new hotel room and came up a couple days later asking us why we went back to the room because she said someone was on a balcony during the night after we had left. We all looked at each other knowing none of us entered that room since the incident. After that, we also noticed the hotel placed garlic cloves around the door of the room. I'm not kidding. Garlic. And that was it. We never got an answer. We never talked about it again. But I'll never forget the way that door flew open like something was done waiting for us to leave. Whatever was in that room wanted us gone. I have done so much Googling and researching on any other similar experience like this, but nothing has ever come up.
Ew, that's crazy. What really got me though was the aunt asked them to switch rooms with her. Why would you
Yeah,
kids?
I'm not
No, I'm not
switching
switching rooms, but you
rooms.
can stay in ours. Yes. I'm switching you rooms, and you said the curtain just swung open. That's a no for me,
Yeah.
man. What the hell? Nah, man. That's crazy.
How'd that
But
go?
overall, real spooky, real crazy. I feel like if someone just kept knocking I already would probably try to leave that room. But I feel like I would already be paranoid. Not even that I would be paranoid for paranormal. Like, yeah, when you open, there's nobody there. I'd be a little more paranoid towards paranormal. But just in general, just like so many people posting videos lately, like just weird people being at hotel rooms, like knocking or doing this or that. I already just be freaked out by that alone. So then I'd already want to move, but then not to be there ups the ante a little bit. That's a no for me, man. I'd be gone. But yeah, they have happened. Yeah, I'm glad they left.
Yeah.
Like what the heck? Not switch rooms with each other.
Yeah.
That don't do nothing, man. Seems like it was happening to both of them. So it'd probably escalate in their room anyways if there's someone left their other room. Like, nah, man, that's crazy though. And then after the maid sees someone later, it's just
Yeah.
spooky. No, thank
Like a whole
you.
person standing on the
Yeah.
balcony.
Yes. Which is crazy. I mean, when you see a person in like a thing, it just makes everything so much creepier and feels so real. Because like when we used to live in college in our house, I always kept seeing like a person in our roommate's room, and oh, it freaked me out. It
Yeah.
made it so much worse. It made it like not that funny anymore. Like it was a funny joke at first for us in our place of being like, oh, there's somebody there, and then it just made it not funny once you actually like, see like an apparition or like a person there.
Oh, yeah.
No, thank
Shadow
you.
people are the freakiest.
Yeah.
Because they have like no other features except for a silhouette of a person.
Yes.
Ah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. Yeah, and I mean, like, yeah, I guess at first, like, I wouldn't be too weirded out because I'm like, okay, we asked for people to prank us because we left this other door open.
Yeah.
After that, though, like, okay, this isn't a joke anymore.
Yeah. It's no longer funny.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have no comments in this one.
Oh, dang,
I guess no
interesting.
one commented, so
Huh.
I guess
So
you just get our comment.
hey, but I like it. It's a good find then. That means it wasn't probably top by comments. That's good. Or to find something good, spooky that I
Yeah,
don't know
it's only been
about.
on here for like 4 days and has like 20 upvotes so far.
I like it.
So little out there.
Found a little too early, but that's okay. We like it. We like the spookiness of it all. All right, this one's from a Let's Not Meet, and it's posted by the legit Vanessa. Said, I found out my neighbor was living in my attic for months. So I guess the wildest thing I've ever experienced happened last year, and I still don't know how to explain it without sounding like I'm making it up. But here it goes. It started with these little things going missing. I live alone in a pretty quiet neighborhood, so I figured I was just forgetful. A protein bar here, a sock there, whatever. Then my TV would be on different inputs that I left it. Nothing huge, just enough to make me second guess myself. The weirdest part, I'd hear these faint bumps in my ceiling sometimes. I chalked it up to raccoons or whatever, but my house is old. Stuff creaks. But then one night I come home late from work and I could swear I saw a shadow move past the vent, opening in the hallway ceiling. I told myself I was tired, imagination, but I couldn't shake the feeling, so I set up one of those cheap motor sensor so I set up one of those cheap motion sensor cameras I bought off Amazon, pointed straight at the attic access panel in the hallway. 2 nights later, I got a notification at 2:17 a.m. Motion detected. I opened the clip and my stomach dropped. There was a person climbing down from the attic, like full on, quietly stepping down the ladder, looking around, and heading into my kitchen. I froze. I was in the house at the time. The clip was taken. I called the cops immediately, locked myself in my own room with a bat, freaking out while they did a full sweep. They found no one at first. But when they checked the attic, there was a little setup there, a sleeping bag, some snacks, a small camping stove, empty water bottles. Someone had clearly been living up there. The person was my neighbor's grown son, who apparently had some drug issues and got kicked out a while back. He broke in when I was on vacation a few months earlier and just never left. He'd sneak down at night, grab some food, watch TV. He got arrested. I moved out 3 weeks later. I still have trouble sleeping in total silence because now every creak makes me think someone's crawling above me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I sleep with it. That's why I sleep with the TV on. I'm not hearing things in the night. Just not. But yeah, that's my biggest fear is a frogger.
Yes.
So like when things happen, I'm always like, did you do that? Did you do that? And then if no one did, I'm like, okay, I'm noting it down. I never let myself think I'm paranoid because you know what? If I'm paranoid and I start searching for things, I better then like if I find something, great. If I don't, okay, I'll be paranoid. But I never gaslight myself into going, it's just a granola bar. You probably ate it. You probably no. I don't remember eating that sucker. I don't. And if I'm gonna hunt somebody down in my house and there's no one here and I did eat that granola bar, then whatever. It's just a little bit of my time wasted and that's okay.
Facts.
But that is my biggest fear is that
Oh
someone
my
living in
gosh.
my house.
Yes. Yes. I already have fears of that without even happening to me. So I hate sleeping in silence. And then to have it happen to you would be like 1,000 times worse.
Yeah.
Like actually having a person living there and like watching you, taking your stuff. Oh no.
Gosh, no. Yeah, that's a huge fear of mine.
Yeah.
And like I have a friend that like her apartment buildings were like connected on top, like the
Mm-hmm.
roof. And that's what she said, like somebody was walking up there and like
Moving to each one?
sleeping up there. No,
Oh.
no, no. They didn't ever come in hers, luckily.
Oh, dang
They
it.
luckily never came in hers. But like the first time she heard footsteps,
Mm-hmm.
she she immediately got a lock for that.
Shoot,
Yeah,
why
and
would
she
yeah,
asked
it's gonna be
the
that.
landlord, I think, if I remember right, but maybe she didn't. And she just kind of put one in. And then someone else like looked up there and they saw the guy.
Ah
And
no.
so then they called the cops. Oh, that's what it was. No, she mentioned it to the neighbor next door to her.
Uh
And then he went and looked and he was like, "Oh yeah, someone's been going back and forth between these things." And she was like, "Oh my God, I might get a lock." She locks it. And then someone mentioned it to the cops or whatever. And then she saw that the cops were arresting the neighbor she went to because he was the one.
the neighbor she went to
Uh-huh. She went to him because
and
he was like a dad and everything.
and
So
he
she
said someone's up there to her still?
uh-huh.
And then he got arrested for it?
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. He kind of sold himself out.
Uh-huh.
What?
But he just said, I think it's just one of the neighbors. And so he suggested to get a lock to her. She got the lock. So
That's
what he
crazy.
was actually doing there, I don't know. But he was like a dad or something. So like she just was like, oh, he's just like a nice little dad. I'll just go and ask him and
Yeah,
tell
I
him
wouldn't
like
suspect him either.
yeah, like me, she's also like short and everything. So she was like, I'll just mention it to him to check it out and stuff.
Oh my God, that's
That's right. And it was
crazy.
him. It was him. And I was, excuse me? Say it one more time.
That's nuts. Okay, well, I was gonna suggest I would have probably said something to somebody else and had someone out and look,
Uh-huh.
but maybe not because that could happen.
Uh-huh.
But I was also like, I would be the person to put the camera because I can't look up there. If I see something, no, thank you. Or
Yeah.
if there actually is a person, or unless it's paranormal, that's really bad. But if there's actually a person, they could come at me. No, thank you. So I would definitely have to get a camera because I don't want to catch them, the person in the act. I would be this person, call the cops, have them do
Yeah.
it, have them figure it out for me.
Yeah, I'd call the cops. I'm not looking.
Oh, that's scary though. What the heck?
Yeah,
Call your
isn't that
neighbor
weird?
and it's the person that it is. Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus,
when she told
Jenny.
me, I was like, that sounds like a movie. She
Yeah,
goes, I right? She goes, I wish it was. And I think she still stayed there for like a year or two after that.
that's nuts. Oh my God. No, I don't think I could stay that long. I would be this person leaving in
But
weeks.
yeah, but I mean, her son's really tall and stuff, so she needed help. He'd probably be pretty strong and help her out.
Okay, yeah. If you have somebody actually in your living in your house,
Yeah,
never
yeah,
mind. They could probably help you out. If someone actually tried to attack you or something,
yeah,
I guess you're good. And she did get a lock, I guess. And it sounded like that neighbor was trying to get her. That's
yeah.
why he was like,
He
put a
suggested a
lock on it.
lock.
He's like, you're good. I mean, he's probably already thinking in his head, like,
Yeah,
I'm not coming for you anyways, my boy. Like, bruh,
yeah.
it ain't you. I'm after. That's
But I
crazy.
mean, I don't know if he was just like storing stuff up there or whatever. I don't like. No one ever said that he went into their apartments, but they did call the cops because he was in a place he's not supposed to be in the apartment building.
Yeah,
But
that's nuts. Jesus, Jenny, nuts. But someone did comment, something like this happened to a coworker of my ex-wife. About 10 years ago, someone had learned her schedule and had been living in her house. While she worked or stayed at her boyfriend's place on the weekends, she started to get suspicious for similar reasons as you had described. And she decided to test out her hunch by leaving subtle things that would be moved out of place if someone was going in and out. My neighbor had told her that they saw someone enter the house the day prior, shortly after she left for work. So she went to work and returned about an hour later with the police, parking down the street and quietly entering through the back. Sure enough, they caught the guy taking a shower. She was traumatized over it and moved out almost immediately. Thankfully, her landlord let her break the lease. GTFO. I don't think this is an AI generated story. These things definitely happen. Yeah. People think this is like an AI or fake jet story. These things really do
oh
happen.
yeah,
There's like a lot of docs about people doing
there's a whole
stalking.
TV series on Hulu, you guys. It's
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
good,
You told me about that story, that series. I
so
still haven't
good.
watched it. I need to.
Crazy stories,
Yeah.
and a lot of times it was in like college towns
Mm.
and like those like college apartments. That
Interesting.
those happen a lot because also like one of the girls like they didn't lock their windows ever because it was just a safe little college town, and like a homeless guy was always coming in and like taking stuff clothes from their closet and stuff. It's crazy.
That's
And they said
scary.
they like started getting in fights all the time because they never trusted any of them, each other. They were like, "No,
I'm
you're
not
always
bad.
stealing my clothes. You're always stealing my hair ties. You're always doing this and whatever."
Yeah.
And then one day the girl like she changed her schedule up and she came in and opened her closet and there was just a dude in there.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
thank
that's why you
you.
can't have schedules, people. Don't have schedules. Don't have schedules. Change your
Yeah.
life up.
I love changing things up because I'm nervous about that
I'm so
too.
scared.
I don't live by a
Like
schedule
like
now.
who's coming for me? I don't know, but they'll never get me.
Probably nobody,
Probably
but
nobody, but they'll never
I'm gonna
get
keep
me.
on their toes if they
Keep on the toes if they try.
do. Yes, and oh my god, yeah, it is real, and like especially because like we have people we know that like it's a safe neighborhood. We're good to like leave our doors locked. I lock my door every time I enter or
Yep.
exit my house. It's always locked. I don't want
Yep.
anybody somehow getting
People
in.
always looking for those safe places.
Yes.
But when she's saying she left like little subtle things that people had to move to get out and stuff, all I was thinking was that 70s show. And
Yeah,
he
when you
leaves the
put some
car and he puts that little
hair,
piece of hair. Yeah.
that's exactly what I thought of too. Just not do. All right, another comment just it's when I read stories like these that I'm glad I only ever lived in apartments. Jesus. And someone said there's someone living above you too. And the person commented back, "LOL, true, but at least they don't have access to my apartment." Someone else said, I live in an apartment and keep hearing noises from my ceiling that I automatically dismiss as my upstairs neighbors. Then I remember that I moved to a top floor so I wouldn't have to deal with that anymore. I hope it's just squirrels. Someone else said, I
I'm
had
telling you.
something similar happen in an apartment. Keys for most of the units were in a door. Keys for most of the units were in a doorman's station area. A couple who lived in the building accessed the keys and made copies. They used them to come and go from apartments, steal mail, etc. And then the person who made the first one about living in apartments goes, there goes my safety.
Yeah, don't listen to my story, person.
Yeah, exactly. You were just talking about people in
Yeah.
like college apartments. Like, it does happen
College
in
apartments, well,
apartments.
even my friend, that's what I said. She lives in an apartment building.
Oh, you did say apartments, huh? I
Uh-huh.
don't know why. Like, I pictured like a townhome or something, and I was like not thinking apartments. But yeah, like, so apartments don't keep you safe.
No, no,
That
yours is
means
never safe.
nothing to you.
Never go to sleep.
Yeah. Be careful. There's people everywhere.
It's
Jesus.
insane. You just can't.
Yeah, those are like, there's a few other comments of people just talking about different things about it, but yeah, someone does mention the what you call it, because someone said now whether or not OP's account is true or AI, there's actually a name for this. It's called frogging. And about a year ago, I saw a really disturbing Netflix documentary about several different cases of this happening to different families. I highly recommend it. It's really interesting. I'll bet disturbing AF. Sorry, it's on Hulu, not Netflix. So they're probably actually talking about the one you were talking about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because I
really,
think Netflix has maybe a doc on it, but they do have a horror movie on it.
yeah,
And the
I
horror,
have seen
it's like
some horror movies.
I'm watching you or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something like that, but it has like a monkey mask face
Yeah, we
as the
watched it
cover.
together. What the heck was that called?
But that's a good
I
one.
See You?
That's a I think it's I See
I
You.
think it's called I See You.
But that's a really good horror movie. Good
Oh,
plot
it was.
twist.
Yeah, it was. It was a
Yeah,
good one for sure.
but the doc really just as freaky as the horror movie.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, frogging, biggest fear, biggest fear.
yeah. No bueno. To you out there, don't do it. Don't frog people. That's just mean and scary, and it's just a stressful thing to
Well,
think of.
that's the thing is like a lot of them are like teens. Like if it's not something weird, I know a lot of them are like teens who do it for like fun.
Yeah, I think at one point it was one of like the challenges or
Yeah,
like
it's kind of like a
for the
don't get
community.
caught kind of thing,
Yeah.
and like a lot of teens do it. And then I think in that horror movie, it's a group of teens um kind of doing it. And like it
I
just
thought
gets
in the horror movie
crazier.
one of them they assumed it was the teens. I don't remember what it actually ended up being, but I thought they assumed it was the teens. They assumed it was the neighbors. They assumed it was some other person. I don't remember who it ended up being now.
Plus, I'm thinking of a different movie. So there's a movie
Maybe
where it's a bunch of teens.
maybe it is that one.
I
Maybe
don't
that's
know.
not how it ended. I don't remember. But crazy. No, thank you.
All right, this one's from Paranormal, posted by Weird Soft 1225. I saw a black-eyed man when I was 12, and I've never forgotten it. This happened at the very end of sixth grade on the last day of school before summer break. I only lived 5 minutes from the school, and since I knew the neighborhood really well, I decided to take a shortcut home, something I've done before, but this time I chose a different route. Through a part of the neighborhood I'd never actually walked through. It was a quiet street, kind of off to the side, and it had this weird abandoned feeling to it. Some of the houses looked pretty empty, like no one had lived in them for a while. There weren't any people around. The whole street just gave a weird vibe, but I guess I'd be fine. I was close to home. As I walked on the sidewalk past these empty houses, I noticed a car parked on the side of the road ahead. The driver's side door was wide open. I couldn't tell if someone was in it at first, but honestly, I didn't want to find out. I don't like being approached by strangers, especially adults when I'm alone. So I did what most people probably would. I pulled out my phone and pretended to be on it, so I wouldn't have to engage with anyone. But as I got closer to the car, I heard a man's voice say, "Excuse me? Excuse me?" I glanced over, and that's when my heart dropped. There was a man sitting in the driver's seat. He looked like my substitute teacher I had that year. Same build, same face, even the same missing tooth. But his eyes were pitch black. I'm not exaggerating. There was no white, no visible iris, just full on pure black. And somehow they looked natural, like that's how his eyes were supposed to be. It didn't look like contacts or anything fake. It was just wrong. That moment, my eyes met, I froze. I didn't say a single word. I just turned and sprinted home as fast as I could. I didn't even look back. I still remember the way my body felt. My stomach dropped and my chest got tight, like something was seriously, seriously wrong. The weirdest part is that I had just learned about black-eyed children and black-eyed people not long before this happened. I didn't even fully believe in them yet. So to have something like this happen right after I learned about them, it really messed with me. I'm 19 now, and I still think about it often. People say black-eyed people come back to visit you. I've been scared of that for years. I don't even know what I saw was really one of them or something else, but I know it was not normal. And I know it wasn't my teacher. It just looked exactly like him. I've never told many people about this because it sounded so unreal, but I swear on everything it happened.
Oof. I the cryptid things like Black Eyed Kids is one of the creepiest cryptids there is because they're so like this one. I don't know if it's I can't remember exactly their lore of how they get you in trance when they're speaking to you to kind of get you to like do stuff. So I don't know if it's just because they didn't talk to you long enough or what. But oof, imagine if you stayed longer and you got in that trance that a lot of the Black Eyed Kids and stuff and the Black Eyed people usually do. It goes south quick for you and the poor girl. But in general, it just it makes me think of Supernatural of the demons when their eyes turn black. I don't know why. When I think of Black Eyed Kids,
Yeah.
it always made me think of Supernatural. It always makes me think of those demons, and it makes it less like spooky to me. But they are one of my freakiest cryptids, and they're the one that I definitely don't want to run into. And that's the only thing bad when we visit our family. I'm always like,
Yeah.
on the
So big
watch
in
because it's
Texas.
their main cryptid in Texas, and they're so freaky like that's so creepy to like because they do usually try to look like something that would make you feel comfortable, and for her it was a teacher. Yeah, it was a sub that you probably didn't know that well, but still a grown up that you feel like you would trust and know and like accept, and that's why like to adults they do like children. Ooh, I hate it. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Well, this one freaks me out even more because a lot of time with black-eyed kids and black-eyed people, they don't normally approach you out and open.
Yeah,
Like that's
it's usually like
freaky to
at
get you to
dark and they
invite you, get you to invite them in like a home, your
yeah.
car, something just like an invitation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really creepy. So I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's making me want to rebrush my knowledge on them because it makes me wonder if like there's other stories and if there's like certain nuances of why they do it out in the open like that and like in a car or something and come towards you. It makes me wonder if there's
Well,
something else to it.
well, normally they like want you to invite them because normally you kind of invite them to like take your soul.
Yeah.
And they like you normally make you like really sick and stuff. But a lot of people don't have too much on them and like what they do.
No, I
So,
know, which is kind of whack because a lot of people say you kind of forget, kind of, you have like a hint of a memory of what happened when you can escape them. Otherwise, they get you, they kill you.
mhm.
But usually, I just want to know if like I wonder if there's like anything that anyone ever mentioned of like them coming to them like this, like in a car, or them going to them like at their house. Because most people, it's like at their house, they're like coming for you there,
Yeah, or I've
and
heard
not
some
in
where
like
they approach you in your car. I've heard
broad
some of
day type.
those.
Like, oh, so I haven't. So that's always interesting to me.
Okay, well, listen to Morbid, listener tales.
I've listened to a few of them, but I guess I need to listen to more of them on them
Yeah,
because
because there was
I've never heard
there
that
was a
one.
guy and some kids approached his car and he let them approach because they were like asking for a ride or something and he was like, what the heck? And he was like, and I was gonna do it because I mean, just kids out in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
then he was like, then I saw their eyes and they were so black and then they just kept saying, can I get in your car, sir? Can I get in your car? And he said, then I like stared at him so long, I started feeling like I should probably open the door. And he was like, but then I looked away for a second, snapped out of it, and just drove off, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't heard those. That's why I was like, that makes it spookier to me. For the fact that now I'm like, damn, I thought I knew stuff about these the scripted, and I'm like, ooh, it makes it creepy because now I'm like, nah, they don't need to be coming to my house.
Yeah, go listen to more morbid podcasts,
I
listener
definitely
tales.
need to. I definitely need to. I guess I need to catch up. Damn.
All right, some top comments. I met a family of black-eyed people once. They asked me for directions to Kroger in the back lot of a Kroger. So there you go, there's another one. All I could do was point to the building and waited for them to be out of sight before completing my walk home. It was honestly quite terrifying, but unlike any other black-eyed person story I heard. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not
Yeah.
like a normal one.
And maybe that's why, because maybe people are not like trying to click it to the cryptid because they're like, it's different than most of the stories, so maybe it wasn't that, and then because they're questioning themselves, maybe, and so people
Well,
like get nervous, like, is it that?
yeah, well, some people have said they just like some people say they just live out in the world.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I've never heard of a family either. That's crazy.
I've heard of family ones.
I've heard of like family as in like teenagers and kids together, but I've never heard of like a whole family, like parents and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't, but I guess I haven't heard too many on the adults. I've heard couple, but not enough.
Yeah, I've heard of family one. I think it was like the kids went up to the door and the dad was standing out on the sidewalk.
Oh, I think I've heard that one actually, and
Mm.
I just forgot about it, so you mentioned it. So maybe I have
The
heard that.
person replied to them, "That's actually so creepy." Or this is OP that replied to them. That's actually so creepy. I barely ever hear about black-eyed adults, especially not a whole family. Most stories about kids. It makes me think there's more of them out there than people realize.
They do say there is. They do say that, and that's why it's a
But
fear.
a lot of people just go, "Oh, their eyes are creepy," and some people don't realize them as
Well,
cryptids. Like one
that
of our friends has never heard of this as cryptid.
that's true. That's true. And nowadays, like if you see someone like that, I guess you just also think they could just have a body mod and tattoo their eyes.
Yeah.
That's like my fears, like thinking someone tattoo their eyes and it's not. Be like, no.
One person said, I mean, honestly, the chances it could be a tweaker are probably high, LMAO. Their eyes can dilate like crazy.
I mean, yeah, they do. I don't know. Freaky. I wouldn't change my chances either way. No
Yeah,
thanks.
me
No
either.
thanks, dog. Jesus.
Yeah, someone said true, but why did OP's body have such a visceral strong reaction? It's like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like it's not because when people say they run into black eyed people or black eyed kids, you have some kind of feeling. You have
Yeah.
this like aura take over your body. Ugh, it's so gross. That's why I don't read a lot of them because they kind of like really freak me out. Black eyed people and black eyed kids are just the creepiest thing to me.
Yeah, they're so weird to me. And like kids are like if I saw parents, like it'd be weird and honestly be more off-putting because it's like I didn't expect that. Because children and old people are the creepiest thing out in the world.
Yeah, yeah,
Like a haunted like whenever your house is haunted by a kid, I'd rather it be haunted by an adult than a random adult. Not an old person, not a kid. If I hear a
yeah.
kid laughing or I hear an old person make old people noises around my house as a ghost, I'm not. I would rather have a man yelling at me. Like it's less creepy than a giggle thing. I'm not
Yeah,
doing creepy cryptic kids. I'm just not.
I feel that. I feel I definitely feel in the old people after watching Drag Me to Hell. No thanks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm over old
I
people.
can't do old people, can't do old people.
Love our grandmas, but like old people, I'm over it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at like Dragon Me Hill with the one dead eye and stuff and you like spit on me,
You
no.
be hacking and knocking your nails. No, thank you. I'm out. I'm out.
Curse me because I'm fighting.
Take me to hell 'cause I'm over it.
I'm over it. I'm not looking at you anymore. I'm just
Jesus.
not.
All right. Now let's go over to a glitch in the matrix. And this is posted by Winter Frost. Winter Frost? I think that's supposed to be Winter Frost. Cool. They like spelled in like old Englishy vibes.
Winter.
Winter Frost, they say.
Yeah.
All right. If this is you and you listen to this for some reason, I like your username. We're not making fun of it. It's actually pretty gangster. I like it. Gives me Viking vibes. All right. Life-saving glitch. Glad I found this subreddit because man, do I have some glitch stories. I was driving back from Colorado to Texas with my wife in the seat next to me. My youngest son asleep in the back. It's very late, and I was very tired. I zoned out in thought and was not paying attention to the road ahead of me. Suddenly, I snapped back into full awareness and saw that my lane, the left hand lane of the highway, was coming to an end, and there, not far in front of us, there were several pylons blocking off my lane. I only had a few seconds to move to the right. I shot a glance to the right. It was clear. It wasn't. There was an 18-wheeler semi to the right of me. Its cab was parallel with the rear seat and the trunk of my car. I think it was the sound of it that snapped me out of my daze. I was doing about 65 miles per hour. My options were to slam the brake and plow directly into the pylons and whatever there was beyond them. Couldn't see. Or pray there was some room to move to the right, and maybe the truck would see my predicament and hit his brakes or move over as quickly as he could. I let I let my foot off the gas and edged quickly to the right so I could miss the pylons ahead and hopefully not lose control of the car. It still swerved a bit. We made it. I turned my head to look to the right. There was no semi to be found anywhere. Nobody was near us. I looked over my wife and she was white as a sheet. I asked her if she saw the semi and she nodded and said it had been right beside us when I turned into that lane. She turned around and looked everywhere behind us. No semi anywhere. No wreck. Some people further back were continuing down the highway like normal. People on the other side were just continuing as normal. It's like it just winked out of existence.
Goosebumps. Hate that. But I am happy that his wife saw it so you don't feel like a freak.
Yes. Yes.
Because if that happened to me, I would have been like, oh my God. If she said no, I would have been like, oh my God. I'm like going crazy. I almost got us in a car wreck over some kind of delusion I'm having over here when I zoned out. And I would have been like, I'm so sorry. Luckily she saw it because then now we can both be like, what in the world happened?
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm so nervous to see a glitch in the Matrix. But if I do, somebody, especially you, better be there because no one's gonna believe me.
Yeah, man. I mean, even if I'm there with you, I don't think anybody would still believe us.
That's okay, but you believe
I mean,
me.
I guess that's true. At least you have
I
one
have
person.
somebody to talk to about
That's
it.
true. That's true. You have a person. That's true. That's true.
Because I need somebody to be like, ugh,
Yeah,
I saw it, girl. Don't worry. Don't worry.
exactly. Jesus. And like to be safe, like there's other glitch in the Matrix that are like smaller. There are some that are bigger that's like the other weird stuff. But it's interesting that I've heard some other ones that are like kind of like life saving. Like these girls stopped at like this gas station because their car was about to die. They filled up their gas and everything, and the gas station wasn't even real. It was like, well, I mean, it was real, but it was a glitch. Right then and there, in that moment, they were able to get gas and get to where their next
They
stop
didn't fill
was.
up. Are you talking about the one from Morbin?
Oh, maybe
They
I'm
didn't fill
blinking.
up.
Why do I remember them
She
filling
went
up the
she went to go to the
gas?
bathroom and the other one to go fill up. But then they said like it got real weird. There was a lot of weird people and she came out and she's like, "Hey, let's go." And she's like, "Yeah, let's go."
Damn, I guess
And
I was
then
blinking.
she's like, did you have like a weird experience like I did?" And she's like, "Yeah, oh my God." And then they kept driving and then once they got to a certain point they realized they didn't even need gas. And then now, like, their phone was going through, and like, oh, and they had like a phone call with their mom at some point or something. And the mom never had the phone call with them. And then they tried to drive that road again, never found the gas station.
Dang, maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
That's the one you're thinking
But
about.
to remember that completely differently. But that's
I
good.
know, I've listened to these a couple times. They're
Especially
so
right
good.
there.
I love a good listener tale.
I
So if
do
anybody
too.
has anything to send in,
We
put
would.
it in comments.
Yeah,
Tell me a good creepy story because
we're not
I
mad
live
about
for
it.
them. I'll read it. I'll reread it when I'm not even on the podcast. I'll just read it at night to scare myself.
I like it. I love being scared sometimes.
Me
It's
too.
nice. Some comments. One is quantum immortality. It's a working theory that when you die in one reality, you shift over to the next. It's possible you and your wife died in that reality and shifted to this one, which didn't have the semi truck next to you. That's even
That would be a
I've never heard
crazy.
of
I've
that.
never heard of that. That would be a crazy theory. That's a crazy theory. I like it though. It's kind of weird.
Yes. And someone did say yes. My first thought was exactly. So it must be a pretty big theory. I've never
Huh?
heard of
I don't know. I've
that.
never heard of that.
But someone else commented, driving home from Texas to Minnesota, where somewhere in Nebraska, my husband and his buddy are out cold, snoring, and suddenly the road next to me splits open and a semi on fire came out, tried to merge into us, then quickly disappeared. Husband woke up, had me pull off the next opportunity to panic and let someone else drive, and said, that was effing nuts with the semi, right? Girl, you see that too?
It's insane. I need somebody else to see
Yeah.
it. I need to be able to be like, you
I
saw it.
know.
I
I
saw
thought
it.
they
You
were
saw
gonna
it. You
like
saw
make
it.
her pull over and change drivers because they thought she was crazy. But I'm glad someone saw it.
That's what I thought because I heard her panicking.
Yeah.
But no, he saw and he said, "Girl, calm down, and then I can drive for you." Because yeah, I was freaking the backseat, but I couldn't imagine being the
Being the
front.
driver
Yeah.
and just like trying to get out of that situation. Oh
Oh
man.
my gosh.
Yeah, glitches are a no for me, dog. But
But that one replace you in the other universe is giving me it's giving Rick and Morty.
it's definitely giving Rick and Morty, but that's also so I'm hoping I'm gonna keep that in my mind, so keep it light, keep it funny. But it's also giving me like chills of like, damn, what if you never knew you died, but you did, and you just hopped into another universe where you're alive? Like
Yeah.
your body's
So
just
right now
shifted
you're
over.
hoping your universe won so
Yeah,
that
and
way.
you're hoping you didn't somehow miss that you were in a glitch,
Yeah.
or not a glitch, a quantum immortality thing, and like you saw technically a glitch,
Mm-hmm.
but you just jumped over and you just didn't realize it. Can you imagine? And you just never know you
Maybe
did switch
is
over.
this what
I
the
don't
show Quantum Leap's about? Somebody tell me.
know.
Mention in the comments. Is this
I
what
don't
Quantum Leap's about?
think so. I think in Quantum Leap, quote me if I'm wrong because I've only seen the trailer about it. But I
Yeah, quote her
think
if she's wrong.
quote it so you can tell people this is what Quantum Leap's about. Or make it into its own thing and then we can quote it. But I think he's like a scientist and he leaps through to do different things in different universes or just check out different universes. I don't think he's leaping because he's dying.
If I remember to Google. If not, somebody put in the comments. What's Quantum Leap about?
Or
And if you've seen it, is it a good show? Should I watch it?
it looked good about the trailer and then I totally forgot it was a thing. So maybe I'll have to go watch it because
Yeah,
I'm out of shows right now.
yeah. I don't know where it came from, but all of a sudden I thought of it and I was like, is that what that show is? I've never seen the trailer. I just know of it.
Oh, so I've seen the trailer because I watched the trailer because I thought about watching it at some point.
Mm,
But I think I was in the middle of a show when I saw it come out and I watched the trailer. And then, you know me, I just never get back to things when I think about it in the
yeah.
moment. So, but yeah.
All right. So this one is from Spoopypjades, posted by Afraid Tangerine 369. Strange lady at a fast food restaurant. One day I went to this place to get food with my mom. While we were in line and ordering food, I hear a person walk in and a woman's voice say, "Oh my lord," from behind me or something like that. Already, I'm like, damn, that sounds close in my head. So I turn and look behind me. Out of my corner of my eye, I see this lady in a black shirt. First thing I notice is the lady is far too close to me, like for my liking. Of course, already getting weird vibes from this lady. But she gets on a call and asks the person on the phone about the order because she forgot. Eventually, we order the food, and my mom and I sit at the stools in the building. For reference, there's about five-ish stools on each side of the building, and each one of them were one of those tall stools that you struggle to sit on if you're too short. Yeah, I get it.
I was thinking the same thing. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was thinking that in my head.
As my mom and I were sitting on the stools, the lady gets her order of food too, and then decides to walk to where we were and sat in one of the stools to the closest to me. The woman sits next to the left of me, my mom to the right, and in front of me, as the stools we were sitting at, the table, were two corner stools. Another thing to be noted is that all of the stools on the left side of the building were empty. My mom is sitting and looking down at her phone for a few seconds until she glances up and sees the woman who sat right next to me. My mom gives me this look and says, "Well, that's odd." And I give her a look back that says, "It was definitely strange," as I was also quite uncomfortable with how close this woman sat next to me. After what seemed to be 20 seconds of silence, the woman pipes up and starts talking. She begins to say, "Hey, you see that guy over there?" while looking towards an older gentleman with a decent long beard in the back where they cooked all the fries. My mom and I glanced over to see where the lady was looking, and she continues to speak. He should really trim that beard of his. It's gross, and that the fact they let him keep it that long. My mom and I both give each other a similar look and respond with, "Well, it's not that long. It really looks nice." Just being polite, not to feed into whatever disrespectful thing this woman was saying about the person who was most likely taking part in the food order. The woman takes no hint whatsoever and proceeds to ramble on about this man once more. You know that man used to be one of my friend's boyfriends? One time they were kissing, and suddenly his teeth fell out, which was concerning to say at the least, but who just says that about a person who's trying to just do their job? My mom and I both flabbergasted that someone would even have the audacity to talk so much smack about a person, let alone let alone a person who worked in the same place the woman decided to get her food from. The conversation soon turns away from the strange information we were given, and the woman asked my age. At the time I was 13, so I told the woman as such. The woman herself looked around mid-40s, 50s. She said something along the lines, "Wow, you look quite smart for your age. I could see it in your eyes." Which made me uncomfortable, but it wasn't the most uncomfortable part of it all. As the lady says something about how smart she thought I was, she places her hand on my knee, and my stomach practically recoiled in disgust. I didn't move, and as I looked at the lady, I tried to say something like, "Thanks." The woman eventually takes her hand off my knee, and sense of relief filled me as then I looked at my mom, trying to convey, "Did you see what happened?" Before my mom, or even that creepy lady next to me, could say or do anything else, our order gets called, and fortunately, we were able to get our food and leave the fast food restaurant without any further trouble. And just when everything seemed to be over with, as my mom and I got into the car, my mom looks at me and says, "Great job diffusing the situation." And I said, "Wait, diffusing the situation? How exactly?" Before my mom responded with something I can't truly remember, I bring up how weird it was that lady put her hand on my knee and how my stomach physically went inward when it happened. My mom then goes, "Excuse me? She did what?" And I realized that my mom had no idea how this woman got so touchy in the first place. Apparently, she'd been looking away when it happened. So the strange lady in the fast food restaurant that I couldn't keep her mouth shut, nor her hands to herself. Let's not meet again.
Oh, what the heck, dude? First off, the whole time I could think Whiskey when she kept saying crazy stuff and just kept mumbling about and like talking about random things. All I could think of is in Nacho Libre when that lady's like laughing. He's like, "And there is a crazy
And that
lady."
is a crazy lady.
That's all I could think of because this lady was nuts.
Yeah.
Like, who just one just starts talking to random people like that when they like sit way away from like where you're at? So obviously, they don't want to like talk to you, and they like already like seemed weirded out that you were in their personal space, and like you're still following them around, and then now you're just like talking crap on some guy that's doing his job and just like talking about him, telling personal stories about him, and just living his life, man. Like, what the
Yeah.
heck? That was so crazy.
You know what? I hope he heard you and I hope he spit in your food, lady.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Also, if I was that girl, I would have like lied and said I had to go to the restroom or something and got up. But I don't know. I guess maybe it wouldn't because I honestly probably be scared she found me in the bathroom. And she was already getting weird, and with a hand under my knee. I guess maybe not. Maybe actually, never mind.
Yeah.
Bad idea. Don't get up. Just stay there. Just fight for your life. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think I would have done the same to her, look at my mom like, "Help me."
Yeah,
But her mom didn't even pick up her help
yeah,
looks. She didn't even realize that she grabbed her like that.
yeah, man. I don't know why the mom looked away when this lady was like being weird, like all up on your kid. My
Yeah.
I don't think I would take my eyes off my kid once all time. Like,
Yeah, I think maybe I would have been like, "This chair's kind of wobbly," and then sit on the other side of my mom.
yeah,
Something. Something.
nuts. Or pretend like the counter was sticky and be like, oh man, the counter's sticky. Sorry, man, we're actually gonna move over there. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
like something, man. That's crazy. Oh my god. Ew.
All right. Well, there was only one comment so far.
And you found some fresh stories, my guy.
Well, I think this one. I think this one is an actual person's. She must read scary stories or something. Because
Mm.
the first paragraph is her saying how much she loves her videos.
Got it. So this is probably someone's subreddit.
So, so if you ever want more scary videos, go find Spoopypjades.
Oh, okay, okay.
I don't know who she is, but
They probably read stories. Got it,
she
got it, got
must
it.
read stories.
So if you like spook, they might be a good
They
person
might
to
be a
reach
good
out to.
person to go follow and
Yeah.
listen to. I might go check them out after this. They said I would have felt uncomfortable as well. Sorry you went through that. It's a very weird encounter for sure. And OP replied, thanks. It's all right now, but I will forever remember the single feeling I had of wanting to just get up and run away from the entire situation. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally get that.
I definitely get that. Jesus.
Yeah, I've met some weirdos out in the world too. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But that one's a crazy one.
But that one is crazy. It's a crazy lady.
All right. This one is from Paranormal and it's by Evil Queen. And this one's like, okay, I did pick this one. So this one I picked because it's kind of a happy ending kind of story. It's kind of a like good feel type story.
Okay, cool.
So be ready because it kind of brings back, it's spooky, but like a good spooky. Like you might want this in your life.
Okay.
So
A
let's wrap
little
it
bit
up.
of a palate cleanser.
Yeah, we'll round it up at the end with a happy one. So this is my dad sent me a sign. My dad passed away on 4/18/14 on Good Friday. He used to make fun of me and my late husband because we used to always take day trips while dating. He would always sing the Beatles' Day Tripper to me. This is a song I always think of my dad and when I hear it. This morning I was sitting reading the newspaper when out of nowhere at full blast Alexa starts playing Day Tripper. This is a song I haven't requested ever on Alexa. It scared me half to death. But to happen 11 years after his death on
Oh.
Good Friday, also, I know it was him.
Yeah, that's 100% him.
Yeah.
Because he's doing it on his day with a song
Yeah.
for you. That's a cute one. Yeah, that's a really cute one.
Mm-hmm.
I see that's the kind of Alexa songs your thing needs to be playing. Like it needs to mean
Exactly.
something to me if your Alexa's gonna be playing music at a random.
Exactly. Any of these people have these things of like Alexa's doing weird things. They
Yeah.
need to be good signs.
It needs
Happy
to be
signs for good
yeah.
people. Just giving you a little hooty hoo. Just like
Yeah. Give
nicely.
me good vibes, Alexa. Don't give me bad vibes.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. Exactly. But a person commented, I love us, and I believe wholeheartedly. My dad also died on Good Friday, April 18th, in 2003. I've been feeling down since yesterday because it's bringing back so many feelings. He was the best man on this planet, and his loss is ever present. I am hoping he'll send me a sign today, too. I hope he does, OP said, and I am very sorry for your loss. This is the first time I ever received a very definite sign from him, so here's hoping you will receive one as well. And the person did thank you. And another person's comment is, this is beautiful. I love stories like this, and I have no doubt it was him. I have a similar experience involving my mom. I was having an especially rough evening. I just moved back into my house after my ex left in 2022. It was my first night alone there. Without any warning, past midnight, my Alexa began playing Pretty Ballerina by the Left Bank. My mother loved that song, and it always made me think of her. It was playing in the background at the moment she passed, and I wasn't able to listen to it after that, so I never requested it, just like you. I checked the date, and it was the second anniversary of her death.
That's cute.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of people do that, which is so nice. It's so cute. It's kind of like a song without being too aggressive or scary or intruding. It just
Yeah.
gives you a nice little like moment. You're just like, dang. And like that person wasn't able to listen to that song because it reminded them. But now I guess now you could listen to it and remember the sign that they gave you of like
Yeah.
checking in, giving a
And
little
see,
love.
that's like a cute one I could do. Because I mean, like, I've heard like some people see their relatives like at the end of their bed or something. And it feels great. It feels loving. It feels protective. I just don't know. I'd still feel like, I don't know. I just don't think I could see somebody after their death. It
Yeah.
would freak me out.
Yeah, I think it'd make me
I
nervous.
think I could do a song.
Yeah, because then it makes it more loving. And then the song's not sad anymore because you're like, damn, they left. It's more like, oh, they gave me a sign. They're giving me a heads
Hmm.
up. And now you can listen to it. Remember that day instead of the day they died. Especially for that person, their mom passed away to the song.
Yeah.
Now it's like, now it's really bringing it full circle back to being a happy song for you, which
Hmm.
is nice. I love it. Yeah, it's a good little happy one. There's a couple other people that share like little happy stories about getting little hints and signs from people who passed away. So if anyone wants to go check out that comment thread, it's pretty cute. It's pretty heartwarming. So yeah, those are our stories today. Any takeaways from the spookiness of it all, from all the ones we read?
I mean, apparently now black-eyed people could just approach you anywhere, which builds that fear up.
Yeah, stay alert. That's the main takeaway from that one.
That's the main takeaway. Stay alert because you know what? True crime's freaky, but black-eyed kids are freaky too.
Cryptids are
Cryptids are
cryptids
creepy.
are I feel like can be creepier than paranormal sometimes, depending on the cryptid. And the Black Eyed Kids is one of those cryptids.
I feel like paranormal. I could move out of the house.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, unless it is attached to you.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but let's not jinx that.
But
Um,
I'm just saying, like paranormal and cryptids, there's certain levels. A level one, like
I just feel like
really
if
scary, really
I get
scary.
approached by a cryptid the first time, like I'm just not making out of that. In my mind, I'm just not making it out of that.
If you meet any cryptid,
If I come
Black Eyed
across a
Kids.
cryptid, any cryptid.
I mean, if you let's see, you see trying to think of like a Loch Ness monster. You might not be in the water, but you can still see it. You might get out alive. You see the
I don't
Mothman.
know. Something about me just screams like I
If
don't
you
think
see the
I would.
Mothman leave the state, like you're gonna end up in a natural disaster. You can get out of that if you see it. You
I
already know it's
know, but
coming.
if I see a Mothman, I feel like in my mind I'm gonna be like, I have to see the natural disaster comes, and I might
See if
hang
it's real.
around. Yeah, I think sometimes I might tempt fate with
Yeah,
something.
I guess it's true. Well, Bigfoots. No one's ever said they're aggressive or terrible or mean.
No, but I feel like if I saw one, I'd be like, oh my gosh, and I'd start yelling and be like freaking out.
But what if
But
they're nice?
if it's nice, then okay, then I'm fine. But I mean, like, if it's not though, because more than likely a giant cannibal man in the woods is not going to be that nice if someone's yelling, "Oh my God, it's Bigfoot!"
Let's see. Tommy knockers. They're just supposed to alert you when there's death coming. They're kind of like canaries in a mine. That's kind of what their job is. They're not coming at you. They're not evil. They're not duendes. They're just Tommy knockers.
Yeah, Duendes people, they're out in Utah, so watch out for us. Mhm.
Yeah, they're coming, man. But there's certain ones. There's different levels. But yes, stay alert is more of the story. Stay alert. So that's always fun. But my other main takeaway is just stay alert in general, as in stay alert for creepy things like that. Stay alert to interesting glitches that you might end up in this quantum immortality. Maybe then you could know how many like maybe you can figure out how many like quantum verses there are and how many more lives you still got. Maybe you could live for a few more.
Hey, maybe
You know?
another universe. I've watched the show Quantum Leap and I know what it's about.
You probably do. I bet you. I bet you there's someone out there that one of your versions of you probably watched it. It's kind of our vibe of shows. I wouldn't be surprised. And then also just stay alert from like signs from people who have passed. Maybe you're getting a sign you don't even know it. Maybe you can get a nice little cute little sign on their anniversary and you didn't know. And now you'll know. Now you know to be alert. So that's my takeaway from today.
I like him.
But
All right.
yeah,
I guess
thanks
that's
for
it.
joining us for the spooky stories. Be ready to join us. Sunday is going to be back to the drama, and the next Wednesday again we'll be back to spooky. So thanks for joining us today. Share in the comments any spooky things you have, or even just any thoughts you have on these stories and how you feel, and maybe even just what's your favorite cryptid, or do you really like the Black Eyed Kids? Is that your favorite cryptid? Share your thoughts below for sure. Offer that from for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.